Hey everyone, it's Mimi on Be Heard, Women Empowering Women. And today I have a repeat guest, Alisha Kapani. And we had such a great conversation last time. I had to have her come back. And Alisha is a quantum health coach and a holistic health practitioner. And she uses her own experience and intuition to guide clients so they can heal. And they also can receive insight and resources that they need to keep their healing going. Welcome, Alicia. Hi, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me again.
Oh, I'm so thrilled to have you. Um, so, we were going to talk today about the seven planes of existence, which I really didn't know about it until you mentioned it on one of your websites. And so, we're going to talk about that. And where do you want to start with that? Explain what they are, maybe.
Yeah, maybe I'll start with that because a lot of people confuse dimensions and planes and think that they're the same thing, and apparently they're not the same thing. So the seven planes of existence, they all exist right here, right now, where we are. So it's not like you need to go to some separate place to then access a different plane. They're all accessible right here.
Mhm.
So the seven planes are the first plane, which is like non-organic matter. So this is like soil, minerals, things like that. The second plane is organic matter. So this is like plants, that type of thing. Third plane is where humans and animals exist. So that's, where we are. And
Yes.
then the fourth plane is where your souls go after you pass, apparently.
Ah, okay.
And unless you're like a master soul, you would actually go to the fifth plane. So the fifth plane is master souls, angels, your soul family, that type thing.
So I will
And
stop you on four
okay.
on the place you go after you die.
Mhm.
That's sort of like a Buddhist belief, isn't it? The
You know what? I'm not actually
reincarnation.
sure. I learned all this from theta healing, and theta healing isn't religious.
No.
Most religions actually are created in the fifth plane. That plane is all about duality and like heaven, hell, good, bad. So
Yes.
like that's where like, I don't
Yeah.
know, like
People get
all the
stuck there.
gods that you think that you've been praying to would be in the fifth plane, actually.
Okay. All right. Go on. So we're now
Yeah.
six.
The sixth plane is the laws. So these are the laws that, I mean, you've probably heard of most of them, like the law of gravity, the law of electricity, but there's so many laws. There's like the law of compassion. That's actually the highest law right before you go to the seventh plane. There's the law of witness. There's like so many law of karma. Like there's so many different laws. They're all in the
Hmm.
sixth plane.
Wow. Okay.
And then there's the seventh plane, which is creation energy. It's where all the other planes were created from. It's where
Mhm.
everything is created from. It's just pure creation energy. So you can call it creator. You could call it God if you want to. You could call it universal source consciousness, creator consciousness, pure love, pure
Mhm.
energy, whatever you want to call it, wherever you believe everything's created from. That's
Mhm.
the seventh plane of existence.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was very blessed 20 years ago to find Unity of the Palm Beaches. And
Mhm.
Unity Worldwide puts out a booklet called The Daily Word. And a lot of people are familiar with the Daily Word, but they don't know anything about the source of it. And they too do not act like a religion.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
my minister in particular, he will say to us, God is not the big guy in the sky. He says that all the time. And he
Mhm.
talks about a lot of these things that you just mentioned, which is why I love going there.
Yeah.
And also at the beginning of the service, we do a meditation.
Mhm.
So, we're in the process of rebranding that we're not a church, we're not a
Yeah.
religion, we're a spiritual community.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So
Yes.
this is really interesting to me. So
Yeah.
let's talk about, where do you want to go next? You guide
Yeah,
me.
maybe we should talk actually a little bit about the fifth plane because you were just talking about religions. So a
Yes.
lot of the time when people are praying to their God, they are usually connecting with the fifth plane. Or they're not really connecting with anyone or anything, and then they're wondering why their prayers are not being answered.
Mhm.
So with theta healing, which is where I learned all of this stuff, you're connecting with the seventh plane. So you're connecting with creation energy, like what created everything. So when you're asking for things in the seventh plane, you get them. Unless, of course, you have limiting beliefs in the way, or it's going to harm another person or go against someone's free will.
And
As
how
long as
do you
none of
ask?
those-
How do you ask?
there's a
That's
way.
important.
There's a way, so it has to be a command, and it depends on exactly what you're asking for. Anyone that wants to learn about this can read the theta healing books. There's so many. You can just read the first
Mhm.
one.
I think we
But
call it an affirmation or an intention in our community,
yeah, but you
that type of
specifically
thing.
have to say, creator of all that is, I command whatever, and then you have to say, thank you. It is done. It is done. It is done.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's
Ours
just
is
done.
similar. Ours
Yeah, is it?
very similar.
Okay.
Very similar. The law of attraction, and
Yeah.
there was a book and a movie about that, the law of attraction. I can't, maybe that was the name of the book. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, uh, I believe that. I really do. And I was raised Catholic. And oh, God, all of these organized religions are terrible because the standards and the rules and the things that they put forward get rid of your authentic self in a way. They erode who you are and they
Yeah.
make you feel guilty and shamed, in
Yes.
my opinion.
Yeah. And that duality of like right, wrong, good, bad, heaven, hell, like
Yes.
those beliefs are a lot of the times the reasons I see people aren't healing or things like that. They're like, no, I have to suffer first for
Mm-hmm.
me to be able to do this, this, and that. So once we clear that belief, then like so much opens up for them. But it's like usually
Yeah,
something from their religion that they just truly
sure.
believe they have to suffer.
Well, the thing too is feelings of guilt and shame would, I imagine, produce more stress hormones. And it's
Hmm.
been proven that stress increases and causes certain illnesses.
Yes. Yeah, it's very important to mention that because most people will shame themselves and make themselves feel guilty about something because then they think they're going to make a better choice in the future. And they think if
Mm.
they don't shame themselves or make themselves wrong, they'll do this thing again. But
Yeah.
it's actually the opposite. If you shame yourself, now you're in this really low consciousness of shame where it's very hard for you to do something different. You have to force yourself. You have to be very aware. You have to be very conscious not to do that again.
Yes.
Versus if you are very forgiving with yourself and you're like, it's okay that you did this thing. And now you're in the consciousness of self love. You naturally do self nurturing things. And now
Yes.
it's not hard and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to try to not
Hmm.
do that behavior anymore.
Um, this is a little funny, but I'm from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and they always used to say in Scranton, as far as drinking is concerned, alcohol, you're either in a bar or you're in an AA meeting.
Mhm.
And I found that to be true. And so 34 years ago, 33 years ago, I got sober. And the
Mm,
reason I bring that up is I had been self medicating for
mhm.
20 years
Yeah,
and not knowing that that's what I was doing, you
yeah.
know. And when I finally got my mind clear, what I liked about AA and the big book is they have those 12 steps.
Yeah.
And if you ever, when you look at them, you know, there is a part in there where you list all your resentments, right?
Yes.
Where you make amends to people you feel you've harmed. And those
Yeah.
are things that get rid of guilt and shame, right?
Exactly. In theta healing, that's one of the biggest things we do is clear regrets, resentment, rejection, and
Mhm.
revenge. The four
Yes,
R's. It's very
yes.
huge.
And and the thing of it is, there's been a lot of books written in history about different types of spirituality and religion. And one of the things in the big book says you don't have to be in a 12-step program, but you do have to be in a spiritual program of some kind. And I
Mm-hmm.
like that because that's what they're talking about. Um, they're not going to set themselves up as, oh, we're the only, way to get free, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think those steps are very helpful. And then, of course, I went to therapy, which again, you're talking to somebody about your feelings and your hurts and your, regrets. And again,
Yeah.
you're getting out of your system.
Yes.
Talk therapy.
Yeah. And everyone I've met that's actually gone through the 12-step program, I just can connect with them so well because they see life the exact same way as me, which is weird. I didn't go through the 12-step program. So I always tell people that like I believe there's one truth and
Yes.
like we all know the same truth and we might just word it in different ways. And when we clear all the limiting beliefs that we've been taught that are
Yeah.
just not true, we would
Yeah.
all know the same thing. We would all believe the same thing,
Yes.
know the same thing. There's only one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not theology, but philosophy. So
Mhm.
spirituality is more philosophy based, ways of thinking. And
Mhm.
Course in Miracles. Did you ever read that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Course in Miracles and the Big Book of AA are very similar in
They
their
are.
message.
Yes. They
Yes,
really are.
they really
Yeah.
are. And again, it is about not holding those negative feelings and trying to get a better understanding
Yes.
of the world, which right now is a little crazy.
Yeah. All that guilt, shame, duality stuff is fifth plane beliefs.
Boiling over, right?
Mhm.
So most people, I think, are in that mental plane
Mm.
more than a spiritual plane. Most humans.
Yeah,
What do you
yeah, yeah.
think about that, Alicia? Just
Yeah, I think that we all have access to all the planes and we all have access to the seventh plane because we were created from the seventh plane.
yeah,
It's just we haven't been taught how to consciously access it to manifest and create in your life. It's already creating in your life all the time.
yeah,
Your beliefs are creating your reality, the programming, your state of consciousness, it's already creating your reality. It's just about how do you learn to consciously change your beliefs in your consciousness so you're creating consciously and actually connecting with the seventh plane consciously because you're everyone's already connected, whether you're aware of it or not. That's where you were created from.
yeah. And
So
the
yeah.
thing is, you're you are your brain um, is the lens through which you see the world.
Mhm.
And if you stay in the brain all the time, you are not getting a clear picture, I believe. Like you have to drop down, get out of your brain, like drop
Mhm.
down. That's why meditation is so effective, right?
Yes. Yeah. I always say your mind only knows what it's been taught. That's it. So it can't know everything. So when people say like make a logical decision, make a decision from your mind, think about it, I'm like that's actually
Mhm.
limiting. When you drop into your heart and the wisdom of your heart, you have more awareness. You know things that your mind doesn't know that you haven't been taught that exist. You just haven't been taught, so you don't know.
And that's the fourth plane, right? That's like intuition and
Mm.
in no, it's like yeah, I think so a little bit because it's
Your
spiritual
intuition.
awareness. No,
You know what? I actually don't know where your intuition would lie. Like
I think that Buddhic plane, if I'm pronouncing it properly, Buddhic
then the
plane.
fifth plane.
That's the
The fifth
fourth.
plane, I'm pretty sure is where your higher self is. I'm gonna have to double check.
Okay, all right. Yeah, well,
But your higher self would have a different message for you than the
mhm,
creator. We actually took this class, it's called You and the Creator, where you ask the creator a question, you ask the higher self a question, you ask your angels the same question, and
mhm,
you get a different answer from every single one of them. They all have a different approach because the angels are in the fifth plane. Your higher
mhm.
self kind of wants, it's not like they want you to suffer, but they're like, they think you'll learn faster through having the experience versus the creator is like, you don't have to suffer to have the learnings. I can just download the learnings for you.
I had an empath on a few months ago,
Mhm.
and she did a short reading of
Yeah.
me, and she said, "Oh my," she said, "there's a lot of darkness." Now she hadn't read my book yet. She said, "There's a
Mhm.
lot of darkness there, and I see a lot of people around you, and I'm not sure if they're ghosts or if they're angels." And I
Mhm.
said to her, "I think they're angels because
Mhm.
people have been trying to kill me from before I was born."
Yeah.
She's like, no, seriously, my mother tried to miscarry on purpose. And
Oh,
then she left me a note telling me that after she died. I thought, what the heck? Very, very cool. But so yeah, I think I had to have some protection around me. A lot of things that happened to me, abusive men, car
yeah.
accidents, just a lot of things that I might have died and I didn't
Yeah.
die, you
Totally.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do believe in angels, absolutely.
Oh yeah. I asked the creator to send me my angels. A lot of people will just go straight to the fifth plane and try to connect with their angels that way. But in theta healing, we're taught go to the seventh plane to ask for every other healing from the other plane. Because then you know you're getting the actual angel you're asking for. Because some
Hmm.
people feel like calling on Archangel Michael, and then an entity will come in and pretend to be Archangel Michael. Things like that. Yeah, so you have to ask the creator to send the angels, and then you know
So
you have them.
there's like bad actors everywhere, even in the spiritual realm.
Yeah, yeah. There's entities, but you
Mhm.
can easily send entities away in theta healing. They teach you a command. That's something you don't need anyone's permission to do because they were supposed to go to the fourth plane after they died, but they just didn't. They chose to stick around and now they're taking energy from other people. So they're
Yeah,
not meant to be here. So we can actually easily command that once you have awareness that someone has an entity attached to them, there's
yeah.
just a really easy command that you ask the creator to send them to the seventh plane.
There's a story, and it's a good story, and it's about someone that died, and he was supposed to enter into the highest plane, you know,
Mm,
and he could still feel all the pain and injustice in the world, and he opted not to go.
mhm.
That always makes an impression on me, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know, that's amazing.
yeah,
But
you can choose to stay.
yeah, he chose to stay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
theta healing,
Mhm.
THTA. Explain that a little bit
Yeah,
to
so
people
theta
that,
healing is where you're connecting with the seventh plane and creation energy. And when you do that, you immediately come into a theta brainwave state, which is a very slow brainwave state. It's the state that you're in for the first 7 years of your life, where you're very susceptible to programming. So it's so
mm,
easy when you're in that state to clear limiting beliefs and download new beliefs and programs that would be very helpful for you to now you're running on this new program of I know I'm worthy of love, for example. It's literally just a program that we can give you when you're in a theta brainwave state. And the reason I like theta healing so much is because the client doesn't need to know how to get into a theta brainwave state. Like with hypnosis, you know how you have to get them
mhm,
into a slower brainwave
mhm,
state and
mhm.
reprogram their subconscious mind. I used to do hypnosis and they couldn't get me to relax and they couldn't get me into a state where they could program my subconscious mind.
Yeah, I can't either. I
Yeah.
can't be hypnotized.
That's why I
So
like theta healing. Yeah.
how do you get them into that state then? How did they get
So
there?
when you connect to the seventh plane, so let's say I'm the practitioner and I connect with the seventh plane, there's a way to do it. It's called the roadmap. It's in the book. You can also find it on YouTube. It's essentially bringing Mother Earth energy up through your feet, through all your chakras, above your head. There's like a ball. You see yourself in this ball of light, and then you bring yourself through all the layers of the universe up to the seventh plane. That's essentially the roadmap on how you get there. You're already
Hmm.
like connecting to the seventh plane here, but that's how you know I'm connected to the seventh plane.
And the practitioner is the one that's going to guide you into that
So the
state.
so the client doesn't even have to do that at all. Only the practitioner does that. And then
Hmm.
when I'm in the seventh plane, I just need your permission to connect with you in the seventh plane because you also have seventh plane energy. That's where you were created.
Hmm.
So I can just connect with your seventh plane energy in the seventh plane. You don't need to actually know how to get there.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
great. Because
that's why.
I have like memory loss from 5 years old to I'd say 12, which is
Mhm.
a big chunk of time.
Yeah.
Because something traumatic happened to me at 5, and also the family was very dysfunctional, alcoholic father, cold mother. Well, you could tell she's cold by my
Yeah.
miscarriage story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I-
so
People read my book and they go, I don't like your mother. I go, well, she don't like me. So
hard.
anyway, why bring that up? is, so I did have a psychiatrist once that was going to hypnotize me. And he tried, he says, you're one of those people that can't be hypnotized. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if it's because I don't let my guard down, because I do have like PTSD things. I don't know. But then he said to me, which is interesting, your brain protects you from things. And if it doesn't want you to remember those 7 years, it's probably best you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
And
yes,
when
yes.
he said that to me, I said, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
So you have a website, correct?
yes, I do.
And what's available on your website? Do you have
Um,
like,
yeah, I have like DIY courses that people can take on their own just to learn this. I have two. One is called How to Align with Your Natural State of Unconditional Love. And
mm,
then the other one is called How to Save Yourself from Heartbreak, actually. So it's not what
oh,
you think it is. It's not about like, oh, close yourself off, don't date. It's actually connect with your wisdom to know the qualities of your person, because you could actually know that right now, so that you're dating with intention and clarity. And like, there's no reason for you to ever get heartbroken again if every time you meet someone, you immediately know they're not my person. My wisdom's making it very clear. Then you can
oh.
still choose to date them if you want to, just, to enjoy. But you literally have a choice to never go through heartbreak again. So that's what that course is
I could have
about.
used that like when I was 20.
Yeah, I know.
I did it the hard way.
Most people do it the hard way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. I know. Well, so many things I could ask you about. So the courses
Mhm.
you have on there, and do you have like a blog? Do you have articles you write or anything?
I don't write blogs, but I do got my YouTube channel and Instagram
Okay.
where I prefer video clips rather than writing. So that's,
Yes.
yeah, I don't have a
Yeah.
blog or a vlog, just YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Good.
That's where you can find
Yeah.
videos for
So
me. Yeah.
people that want to find you, they can just type in your name, probably.
Yes, alishakapani.com, and my handles on all the other accounts are my name, Alisha Kapani. So
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I'm condominium. The 16-year-old boys know that. That's a private joke. I'll tell you later. Anyway, it's about reaching people you don't think you're going to care about it, but they do care about things. Um, so you at one point suffered from severe depression, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. For about 5 years. Yeah.
Mhm.
And just trying everything to heal. Nothing was working until I found mind body medicine, which is all about welcoming your emotions, embracing your emotions instead of, trying to change them, reject them, make them go away. So once I started doing that is when I really started healing. Because like people always say, what you resist persists. So even though I was trying to heal for the longest time, I was still doing it like with resistance. Like, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to have this experience. So nothing
Mhm.
was working for me until I found mind body medicine.
Yeah. Um, I still get triggered. You know, people talk about triggers, and you never know what's going to trigger you sometimes. And even if you're like myself, living a spiritual life and sober and meditating, doing all these things and working on myself, something from my childhood, who knows what it is, and I get triggered. So I used to be very reactive. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm upset and I would react,
Yeah.
which was the wrong thing to do, not correct thing to do. So now what I do is when I'm triggered, I do what you just were talking about. I sit there and I feel the feeling and I think about, okay, why are you feeling that way? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually the same things. One of them is abandonment.
Yeah.
So that goes back to childhood.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is feeling less than. So I feel disrespected by the person or whatever. And again, that takes me back to those old beliefs that there are still specks of them in me.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the approach that you have been using and the same approach I used to heal was like feel it to heal it kind of thing. Like
Yes.
once I get triggered, okay, now I know I'm carrying some more abandonment wounds, some more shame, unworthiness. Thank
Yes.
you for showing me. Now I will receive it and I will welcome what I'm feeling. With theta healing, that's actually another approach where you don't have to feel it to heal it. You actually get to the root belief on why do you believe you're unworthy in the first place? Where did it start? The childhood, past life, wherever. And then
Mhm.
you just change the belief. And then the energy isn't there anymore. So it's actually an even faster way than the way I've been doing my work so far, which is why I've been spending so much time learning theta healing, because it's very similar and they're both important and they both connect. But if I can find a faster way to move through shame, especially, I find shame is one of those ones that's like so many layers to it, versus
Mhm.
find out why you're shaming yourself in the first place. Why do you think it's serving you in the first place?
Right.
Just change that belief when you're in a theta brainwave state.
Yeah.
It's so much faster.
Yeah, I had a lot of anger. I still have some anger, and it's mostly
Mhm.
from being held back by my parents, by the men in my life, and not able to do what I wanted to do. So it made me angry. And
Mhm.
to this day, it's like the only time I cry is when I'm angry. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, so that's some work I have to do yet. I can watch a sad movie. My husband's crying, and I'm over there going, yeah, it's sad, But if I get upset about something where I'm triggered with feeling abandonment or you're not on my side or underestimated or disrespected, and I get angry, then I cry.
Yeah.
Like I cry
Okay.
angry tears. But it,
Right. Yeah, that does. And with people that are listening to this that are carrying anger and resentment,
mhm,
one of the something that really helps to heal it is when you receive the learnings from that experience. Because if you're
mhm,
unwilling to receive what you learned from that experience, you're
yeah,
going to hold on to the resentment. You're not
yeah,
ready to let it go yet. You're like, nope, nope. But if you're like, okay, I guess I did learn how to honor myself and
yeah,
all these things, then you're already just starting to release it because you're receiving the experience instead of rejecting the
yeah.
experience.
And a lot of that. Now, did I send you a copy of my first book?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Did you read it? No.
My mom is reading it right now,
Your
actually.
mom, I bet she's loving it, right? Because she's
Yeah,
older. Oh,
yeah,
good. She enjoying the book?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, God. Hold on. You got to read it. Well, that's it. Totally leave me a review on Amazon. You don't have to have actually bought the book to leave a review. And yeah, a lot of that gets covered in there. And I do know the things that happened or were presented to me were lessons. At the time, it didn't feel like a lesson. It felt like punishment and, torment, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a long road. But it's
Mhm.
so nice, I think, today more people know about things like theta healing and the seven planes and meditation. You hear my voice, that's why I'm in voice therapy. I'm having problems with my voice, vocal cords. Yeah, I'll fix it, be fine. Well, this was
There's
another, I'm telling you, this is so great. In a couple months, I'll have to have you on again because
yeah,
there's so many topics that we can talk about, right, Alicia? Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I'd love
All
to do one
right.
again.
And I'm thrilled to hear your mother's enjoying the book.
So
All right.
fun.
So everybody, you can just type in Alicia's name, Alisha Kapani, Kapani, and she has the most lovely reels and videos on Instagram and TikTok because I see her all the time. And great. This is a great conversation. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I love having you. All right, I'll have you again. Have a great day and take time, everybody, to just sit with your feelings, do a little meditation, and have a brighter day. Bye bye.